organizing and supporting Armenian candidacy of Republic of Armenia to host this historic summit in Yerevan, and hopefully you are content with today's summit. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And all the Prime Minister. Thank you.
I'm very glad. And first of all, thank you very much, Prime Minister Pashinyan, Nicole, for your warm welcome here to Yerevan. You and your team have done an exceptional job of hosting the summit of the European political community, bringing together more than 40 leaders from across our continent. Dear Nicole, the fact that Armenia is hosting this summit, the fact that we are all here today, it is a powerful illustration of the country's courageous geopolitical path, a path that Armenia and the European Union are walking together. That is also why tomorrow we will hold the first ever European Union-Armenia Summit. Today's the EPC Summit was truly historic. For the first time, the EPC met in the South Caucasus. And the day started with President Aliyev's participation by video conference. That means this summit will forever be remembered as a summit of peace in the Caucasus, brought about by brave political choices and patient diplomatic efforts. The story of peace in Europe, in a world where escalation and war seem to dominate, is something to be celebrated. There is a European way of doing things through multilateralism, with the United Nations system at its heart, and in respect of our international law. In the current geopolitical context, it is increasingly clear that our continent needs a 360-degree vision for its security. Meeting here in Armenia, in the South Caucasus, so close to the Middle East, it is a stark reminder that war in Europe's neighborhood has a direct impact on our common security, our energy supply, and our economy. That is why, more than ever, the European Union needs to work hand in hand with Armenia and the region for peace and stability. Lasting peace and stability must be anchored in resilient democratic institutions and strong economic bonds between neighbors. That is why today's the EPC Summit focuses on the fight against foreign interference in democratic processes, as well as on the power of connectivity to create win-win economic partnerships. At the same time, we continue to pursue the goal of just and lasting peace in Ukraine. That is why support for Ukraine continues to be a key focus of the European political community. And these were my message to President Zelensky today. First, the European Union will stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes to achieve a sustainable, just and lasting peace in full respect of Ukraine's territorial integrity. Second, we need to take Ukraine's accession process forward by opening the first negotiation cluster as soon as possible. Any discussion about peace and stability in our continent must include our like-minded partners beyond Europe. The participation of Canada's Prime Minister, Mark Carney, in today's summit, the first time we have invited a non-European guest to an EPC summit, is therefore politically very significant. It is a reflection of the strong and growing alignment between Europe and Canada, and a powerful reminder that the principles and rules-based international order, with multilateralism and the United Nations system at its heart, are objectives widely shared around the world. To conclude, today's summit in these regions shows that Europe's way of doing things, diplomacy, multilateralism, and respect of international law yields results, and it yields peace. I want to thank once again Prime Minister Pashinyan for hosting this summit of the European political community, and beyond that, for grasping the historic opportunity to bring Armenia closer to the European Union. And the final word to the Irish Taoiseach, dear Micheál, to say how much I'm looking forward to the next EPC summit in Ireland. I'm sure it will be as successful as today's meeting here in Yerevan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Antonio, and good afternoon. And it's a great pleasure to be here, Prime Minister, in your beautiful city of Yerevan. And I want to thank you, Prime Minister Pashinyan, for a very productive 8th European Political Community Summit. And also, it was a very musical summit as well, in which you showcased the very best of Armenian music, culture, and wonderful food. And you've set a precedent as well.
You have 6 months to practice.
I have 6 months to practice the drums, and I must author 2 songs because this is a man of real multi-talents, and I will have to think of something between now and November to try and rescue the situation. But genuinely, thank you for that and your versatility. But also, we observed also from your presentations the manner in which you have participated in a very impactful peace process here between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and we discussed, we all have come from situations where there was conflict. In Ireland, we had that over nearly 30 years ago. And there is a route through conflict, there is a way to do things, and it requires sensitivity, but above all, it requires political will and strong leadership, and you have demonstrated that with your colleague in Azerbaijan most effectively, and we appreciate that. And the summit, the European Political Community Summit today focused very much on building the future, unity and stability in Europe. Participation by so many European leaders, and indeed the Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, has showcased the unique value of the EPC and the vital importance to us all of the topics that we discussed today. We spoke about the deterioration in the international security situation, including hybrid threats, which continue to be of serious concern. We heard directly from President Zelensky on the challenges he and the Ukrainian people face in confronting continuing Russian aggression. We discussed conflict in the Middle East and the impact on energy prices and supply, and the cost pressures faced by businesses and families. Most importantly, we discussed how to reduce our dependencies and how to improve our resilience to better withstand global turbulence. It is an issue that touches us all, and it makes sense for the EPC to be a forum in which we can exchange views and share experience. The current energy crisis demonstrates that we simply have to deepen our energy links and invest in interconnections and in our electricity grids. I also attended the second meeting of the European Coalition Against Drugs, and I welcome the strong commitment by leaders to maintain a strong focus on our collective fight against drug trafficking and drug-related threats. Constructing a broad community has never been more important as our governments deal with many serious economic, social and political challenges. As you all know, Ireland looks forward to hosting the next meeting of the European Political Community in Dublin in November. We are enormously pleased